Hello my dear friends, welcome back to another Star Wars video. It is I coming at you once again, your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. And today we're going to talk about some major Star Wars news for Ahsoka Season 2, some movie updates, and we're going to finish with a tribute to a Star Wars legend that we just lost. So no more jibber jabber, let's get straight into it. Some Ahsoka Season 2 leaks have been making the rounds. A lot of them are unvetted. In this instance, they come from Josh at Den of Nerds. I don't know his source, but a lot of what he's been saying does match some of the more reliable stuff that we've been hearing for the show for a few months. Filming is either underway or about to begin. The stuff I've heard concerns some very unexpected cameos, but more than anything, I've heard some amazing stuff for Shin. That's right, Ivana Sakno, who by the way is also featuring in Megan 2. The trailer for that dropped yesterday, and I have to say, a movie series titled Megan, I'm a huge fan. But anyway, in terms of the brand new leaks, while Temuera Morrison is not going to appear in The Mandalorian and Grogu, he is back in Ahsoka Season 2 as Captain Rex. Hopefully there's also some Wolf, and I'm hoping this time it's in the present day, not just the Clone Wars flashbacks. Another major leak is that Anakin Skywalker has a massive presence, much more than just the world between worlds. And this was hinted in the final episode right at the end. We see Anakin's Force Ghost watching over Ahsoka and Sabine on Peridea. Ahsoka saw him, Sabine just sensed him, but yes, Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost is going to play a major role. And this goes hand in hand with the Ewan McGregor rumours. We might also see more flashbacks. But now we're getting into the more juicy stuff. There are major connections between Mortis and Peridea. And someone who is back is the legend Sam Witwer as the son of Mortis, presumably in flashbacks, as he is now dead. But let's be honest here guys, after all these years we still don't know the implications of the Mortis arc from the Clone Wars. It was always something Dave Filoni was going to return to. And with Baylan standing on the Statue of the Ones, looking out into the distance seeing the beacon that looks a lot like the Monastery of Mortis, Ahsoka Season 2 was always going to return to that. I think they're setting up a new trinity. Ahsoka is the daughter, Anakin the father, and I assume Baylan taking the role of the son. And because the new leaks say Abeloth is in the season, the mother of Mortis, and apparently they found the quote, perfect actress to depict her, is it possible she's trying to lure Baylan and use him or Shin as a vessel? If I had to theorize, I would say the Sam Witwer stuff is part of a flashback, introducing the original Mortis gods as a refresher for fans who didn't see the animated show. The father, of course, was the balance between his children, the daughter embodied the light, and the son embodied the dark. If I had to make a prediction, I reckon there is some way they're going to make Baylan become the new son, maybe possessed by the sun spirit. Even though the son died, given Peridea's connections to dark side magic, Night Sister magic, is it possible to somehow manifest him through Baylan? And is Shin going to be a vessel for the mother's return? There is a long-standing theory that states Mortis is a gateway to Peridea. Is the second galaxy the birthplace of the Ones, where they originate? And what does this mean in terms of the story that Dave Filoni is trying to create? Considering the established connections between Ahsoka and the daughter, do you think we could see another fight between Ahsoka and Baylan, the new daughter and the new son? That creates a very interesting dimension in the spiritual conflict between the Mortis deities. I mean, even in Rebels, the role of the Ones is teased with the Lothal Temple, and the chaos that is Abeloth could complicate this. Because she's an expanded universe concept, and we basically have zero evidence that Lucasfilm wants to bring her into canon, I don't want to just take for granted that she's in it. I don't want to make that assumption, just to be disappointed further down the line. I personally haven't heard anything about Abeloth. Nothing I've been told relates to any of that story. I think they might be going a different route. But I don't know, it could be something secretive, just like the Luke reveal in The Mandalorian. Let's find out. But I'm just saying guys, don't just take for granted Abeloth is going to be in it. There is nothing confirmed, nothing for certain. But the leaks do sound very exciting, if they're true. I've heard a couple of tidbits, nothing as deep as the mother of Mortis, but I guess much of what's being revealed makes a ton of sense. But moving on to our next topic, Star Wars movies. Sean Levy's Star Wars movie featuring Ryan Gosling gets a promising update. The rumour is that it's going to start filming in a few months' time, closer to the autumn, but it's now been confirmed the writer is Jonathan Tropper from the Adam Project, and he said this, "That gig is something I've dreamt about my whole life. We're still working on it, but for various reasons I can't say anything about it, but we're working on it." Jonathan Tropper is definitely an unusual choice for a Star Wars movie, but what we do know is this movie is set during the sequel era and might tie into the Simon Kinberg trilogy. And so finally, my dear friends, over the course of a week and a half we lost two Star Wars legends, Clive Revill, the original voice of Emperor Palpatine from The Empire Strikes Back, and Patty Maloney, who played Chewbacca's son Lumpy in the Star Wars Holiday Special. And today we're just going to focus on the latter, because Patty Maloney has one of the most unique and interesting Star Wars legacies of anyone who's been in the franchise. She defended the controversial Holiday Special till the very end, and she was so passionate about her own character Lumpy, as well as Wookiees in general, Chewbacca, and the controversial 1978 Holiday Special. So in preparation for this video, I tracked down every interview I could find with her, and it reminds me of something Sam Witwer once said, and it's something that was echoed by Richard Marquand and Timothy Zahn, that your least favourite Star Wars project, whether it's a movie or a TV show, is someone's favourite. And for that reason, I've always said, even if I don't like something, I never promote the idea that you should hate it, and that's across the board. And for decades, the Star Wars Holiday Special has been something of a punching bag across the fandom. Prequel fans seem to hate it, original trilogy fans seem to hate it, but to someone like Patty Maloney, it's something very special. And when she was alive, she loved meeting fans who did enjoy it. And yes, there are fans who do appreciate it, even if it's just an ironic appreciation. And it has a surprisingly strong legacy, Life Day becoming a staple in canon, and the hologram circus that Lumpy watched was even reintroduced in Skeleton Crew. So to assert it's a useless piece of Star Wars media is false, even if its structure kind of sucks. It even gave us our first Boba Fett appearance. It's become something of a cult classic, even when it's super trippy, makes no sense, and is rather dragged out. It really encapsulates the nonsensical side of the Star Wars universe, the silly and whimsical side. And personally, one of my favourite characters in the entirety of the Holiday Special is the adorable Lumpawaroo, Chewie's son. So I came across an old interview with Patty from 2008, and she was asked a bunch of questions about the Star Wars Holiday Special. And you know, I really don't think she appreciated when George Lucas said, if I had the time and a sledgehammer, I would track down every copy of the Holiday Special and smash it. Because to someone like Maloney, who starred in it, it meant so much. Same with Peter Mayhew, who she was friends with. And by the way, also rest in peace to that legend. They reunited at a convention, signing autographs, and Patty goes up to him and he said, "You're my son." He then jokingly suggested that when they do these signings, she should be there with him, because Chewie and Lumpy are father and son. Really touching, and it just puts into perspective, we just lost another Wookiee legend. And before her death, when Patty was asked if she'd ever want to return as Lumpy, she recalled there being talks of a spin-off, but it never happened. She said she was never approached again. Nonetheless, my dear friends, her character lives on, and she was a legend, a talented actress and dancer. Rest in peace, Patty. May the Force be with you.